Hey guys, Ghazzy TV here with another Path of Exile 2 video, and in this one I'm going to talk about the higher budget version, or high budget version of the Doriani's prototype Storm Mage skeleton that I've been playing a lot lately, and I've been having a lot of fun with. This is the build that I deem to be the strongest and highest performing Minion build in the game at the moment, simply because they have the highest ceiling of what you can achieve with them. So I'm going to talk about it real quick, and clearing works the same as in the lower budget version. It basically is the same there. It's just that you do more damage. It's way more effective. However, what I'll do is I'll show you the audience with the king, which is the ritual boss, which I have ramped up to the hardest version that you can get from this fight. So we'll see how that goes with this type of build. Now, a few things about this build. The build guide for the low budget version to get the start is linked in the descriptions below. Yes, you can play this without spending a ton of currency. Yes, you can play this without the insane belt. You can play this as long as you have the 1 exalted costing Doriani's prototype chest piece and having 0 lightning resistance on your gear, so that your lightning resistance is negative values. I would recommend getting at the very least one of the Ventress Gambles before you play this build. I'd say Arsonist with Flame Walls, SRS would probably be better to play before that. Maybe even Frost Mages, which is what I'll be trying out later on. However, you don't need to have 190% lightning rest to make this working. This is a high budget version. I'm currently having a couple of items I can use as upgrades, but I'll talk about the main differences right now before we show you the bosses. Essentially, I'm sitting on 190% lightning rest. If you were to play this build and you know you're going to do Doriani's, Act 2 and Act 2 Cruel have this little thing of Sisters of Garrokan in the Spires of Deshar. Do not touch that plaque. It will give you 10% lightning rest in both difficulties. So you could do way more damage. Way more damage. It's actually insane how much the lightning resistance does for this build. That's why you can do so much with this. However, before we talk about the gear, I want to point out that I'm only sitting on about 1,000 armor. And since armor is absolutely ridiculously bad in this game, and it actually only works well versus small hits, what this armor allows me to do is handle taking damage from hits from enemies that are dealing % of their damage as extra lightning, or small ball lightning hits, or arcs from enemies. They are not a problem to deal with. However, there's a couple of different monsters in the game that deals lightning explosions, which are placed on the ground and then after a few seconds will explode. You cannot stand in those. That is the only downside with this build. Mostly you'll find these in maps like the Vol Factory. They are the worst ones, and the other ones are basically circular lightning spots on the ground that fills up with its blue lightning color and then explodes. Just don't stand in them. That's all you have to do. That's literally it. That's the downside of this build. Don't stand in lightning explosions. Everything else is fine, including Vol Factory boss. Not a problem. The amount of damage the build is packing is insane. Now, I could get a lot more spirit on my weapon. I can get +1 extra level of my minion skills. I do not have the Prism Jewel because it's overpriced like a lot, but this would be insane to have on this build. And you can use Grand Spectrums. However, I did get myself one of these against the Darkness Jewel to get spirits for notables. And in here, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jewels, or notables rather. That gives them +10 spirits. So that's an effective way to get more of that. That's a really nice way to get this. Besides that, the Ingenuity Belt, which drops from the boss I'm going to be doing now, allows you to scale the increased bonuses gained from your equipped rings. This applies to the rarity, it applies to the resistances, spirit, and life, for example. So that's how we get the lightning resistance to go so crazy. This is a pretty decent ring, and this is a really good ring, as to show you basically how it looks. However, you still need to cap your cold and your fire rest, and also your chaos rest elsewhere on the rest of your gear, whilst not losing too much rarity due to the rare state of rarity in the current game. I am currently sitting on 120% rarity. My tooltip DPS in the hideout without any buffs is about 11.9k. Each level of the minions is currently giving them about 1.7 thousand DPS. So if I get the remaining gear pieces, I will have them do about 20,000 damage per second instead, which is competitive with reverse single target baseline DPS output. Now, however, this DPS does not take into consideration this number here, which means that they actually will outperform reverse and single target boss fight as well with enough investments. Enough said about the builds and the differences. That literally everything else is the same. Just get level of gear wherever you can. Make sure you run a shield with actual block chance for some layers defense. And any upgrade from that I'm at right now is going to cost me tons and tons and tons of money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this boss fight, and hopefully I won't fail at it. Hopefully. We'll see. But this is the King of the Mist in the hardest difficulty that the game has to offer. We've been doing tier 18 maps and everything. It's just been absolutely wild with the amount of damage this build has been pulling. It's not going to be like some sort of surging boss that you see on other types of builds, of course. So it's not going to one-shot the shit. But as you can see, the damage is more than respectable for this, with the possibility of getting more upgrades. What I will say, though, is like builds like Reaver, for example, the Reaver Minions, they do have the possibility to do better single target on lower budgets compared to that of the Storm Mages. Now I brought all the minions in here so they actually have to resurrect. There we go, damage. Let's wait for this. Stuck. Guys, you guys gotta attack. I really want them to fix the minion AI. Holy shit. But as you can see, the damage is more than respectable. Come here. And the reason I'm not doing the weapon swap is because of a crash issues a lot of people are experiencing right now. Which is very, very frustrating. And I don't want to use this in here because I might risk losing the entire map. And I don't want to do that because these invitations are actually expensive. Like, you guys actually attack him, please. Look at this. Like, are you done? Thank you. Go for the lightning. Follow the lightning balls. Follow where they're going. Wait, where are you going? Going this way. Okay, there you go. Next one. Just follow where it's going. It can be a bit messy. You'll get the hang of it. You went to the right. And there's the portal. There we go. The Wild One's power is more mana. Pretty decent damage output, as you can see. Don't stand in the explosion if you can avoid it. I get stuck here. And you kind of want to be within 6 meters of the boss at a consistent basis. And that is the hardest version of this boss that you can do. And I have plenty of upgrades still to do. So please give me a belt for the video. For the video, you piece of shit. Alright, please hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next fucking ass game. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye-bye.